Do you know these 12 salt secrets? A brief salt primer. While all salts come from the sea, table salt is a highly processed product. It is bleached to make it look white. Natural salt typically has a light gray color and has additives to prevent caking. Since natural anti-caking agents like calcium and magnesium carbonate are more expensive, most table salt contains man-made chemical additives like sodium ferrocyanide hydrate or sodium aluminosilicate. Additionally, about half of all the table salt in the U.S. is supplemented with potassium iodide. In iodine, your thyroid, and your bone health. I explain why this is not a good idea for your bone health. While salt in its natural state is alkalizing, processing and chemicals turn it into an acidifying substance. And that is why sun-dried sea salt without additives is alkalizing. It's also naturally rich in calcium, potassium, sulfur, magnesium, iron, phosphorus, manganese, copper, iodine and zinc, many of which are foundation supplements. 1. Stain Remover Extraordinaire. Blood stain on that white shirt? No problem. Just sprinkle salt on the stain and blot with cold water. For stains that cover a larger area, soak the garment in a cold salt water mixture for about an hour before washing in warm water. This works for gravy stains, too. For a fresh gravy stain, pour on the salt and let it absorb as much of the gravy as possible before washing. 2. Coffee Pot Magician. Do you have a stained coffee or tea pot that's nearly impossible to clean? Just pour in enough salt to cover the bottom of the pot, then fill the pot with ice cubes and swirl the mixture around several times in each direction. If the pot is badly stained, you might need to repeat the process a few times, or let the salt and ice sit in the pot for about an hour before rinsing. A couple of cautions with this: if you have a glass coffee pot, make sure it's at room temperature before you start. The glass could break if you add ice while it's still hot. And be sure to rinse the pot well when you're done. You don't want your coffee or tea to taste like salt. 3. Bathroom Brilliance. You don't need expensive and toxic chemical abrasives to clean dirty bathroom tubs and sinks. Table salt makes a great natural abrasive for removing all kinds of burnt on or caked on stuff. 4. Deterrent. Sprinkle a bit of water on the sting, then add salt and cover with a band-aid so the salt can stay put and do its work. Ants can be pesky and persistent little creatures, but there's no need to kill them. Once again, salt to the rescue. For a humane, pet-safe, and inexpensive way to deal with an ant problem, first figure out where the ants are coming in. That's usually pretty easy to do by following the trail back to a windowsill, doorway, or crack in a wall. Then sprinkle salt in those entryways. Ants can't stand the crunchy feel of salt under their feet, so they won't cross the salt barrier. 5. Bee Sting Soother. 6. Poison Ivy Destroyer. Have a patch of poison ivy growing in your yard. Get it before it gets you. Pour about a cup of salt into a gallon of water and spray the mixture on the poison ivy, making sure you spray both the leaves and the stem. Caution: this mixture will kill any plant, so be sure to spray only the poison ivy. 7. Copper Cleaner. Thought you needed a separate copper cleaner to get those copper-bottomed pots shiny? No way. Just sprinkle some salt on half a lemon or a lemon slice and use that to polish your copper. 8. Foot and Skin Care. There's nothing better than a salt bath for getting your feet super clean. Soaking your feet in warm salt water is also a great stress reliever, so this remedy does double duty. And for a low-cost, natural exfoliant that will give you glowing skin, rub some salt on your face and body when you're still damp after a bath or shower, then be sure to rinse it off. 9. Canker Sore Cure. Canker sores can be extremely painful and hard to get rid of. The salt cure might sting a bit, but it's very effective. Just make a warm salt water solution and swish it around in your mouth for at least 10 seconds before rinsing. Do this around 3 times daily until the sore is gone. 10. Color Setter. Have you ever had a problem with bright colors bleeding in the wash? Not only do your lovely bright garments end up faded, but that one red blouse could turn your entire wash load pink. There's an easy solution, and of course it involves salt. Before you wash the item, soak it in the mixture of salt, water, and vinegar. Use about half a cup of each ingredient, and soak for about 30 minutes. 11. Ice and Snow Rescue. You might already know about using rock salt on icy driveways and steps. But if you don't have a bag of rock salt on hand, table salt will do the trick. 12. Suds Stopper. Put a little bit too much soap in the washing machine, or too much bubble bath in the tub. Calm the bubbles with a sprinkle of salt.